Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel Wrestling with Books, where today I am sharing my first batch of recent reads for the 2023 reading year. So let's get started. I'm just gonna slide this over because maybe you'll get to see my cat Buster as he comes, and I just love to see him in the back of the viewfinder, I must say. So we are just having a hair up casual day here. It is been a long work day. I thought I would experiment with time blocking today and slept through my first 2 time blocks. But the reason why I am filming a video during my work day is because I just needed a break. I said, you know what? I need to talk about books. I need to talk about books. So let's talk about what I have read recently. And isn't it always cool to see what your first finished book of the year was? I don't know. To me, it feels like a special honor for that book to be the first. And my first this year was The Bone Spindle by Leslie Vedder. This came out 2022. It's a young adult fantasy. I've seen the cover a lot of times, and I've seen a lot of people fawn over the description that this is Indiana Jones meets Sleeping Beauty. I know that's what pulled me to the book. I also listened to a podcast episode with this author on the Marissa Meyer podcast. Marissa Meyer is the author of Cinder and my favorite book series, Renegades. So if you think you would like to hear more YA authors talk about their books and their writing process, check out the Happy Author podcast. So I'm going to be looking at my screen as I talk to you, if you notice me, doing that. But this tells the story of Vi. She is a hard-edged treasure hunter, and she likes to go at things alone. She really doesn't want company. So she's the Indiana Jones part of this story. Then we have Shane. She is a female warrior who has left her royal family and ends up coming on this journey with Vi. And then there is Briar Rose, a prince under a sleeping curse, and that is where we get the Sleeping Beauty elements of it. It was a struggle for me because I hate that this happened, but Briar Rose to me in my mind just goes so female that I had to keep being like, it's guy, it's guy, it's guy. We do get some good female romance with Shane and her love interest. That was one of my favorite parts of the book. I enjoyed Shane's love interest. I enjoyed the relationship between Vi and Shane, but the disconnect for me was Briar Rose and the magic surrounding his curse. And I know that seems like so much of the story, but there's so much to it. It's not just about breaking this curse. There's a lot of the journey that Fiona, Vi, and Shane, maybe it's Fee, take, but anyway, so I'm not sure if I will be continuing with book 2, which comes out very soon. That comes out February 7th. So if you like kind of like the treasure hunting aspect with some fantasy too, then you should check out this book. Now, I have not just been reading fiction this month, so I do implement my nonfiction into these reading wrap-ups. So if you don't like nonfiction, it's quick, just a quick description. This one was The Alchemy of Abundance by Rick Jarow. This came out way back in 2005, and it talks about, they describe it sometimes as like when you hit all the green lights, everything feels like, wow, that was just, what great luck, what a coincidence, what destiny. It's kind of about intentionally bringing that feeling and that, I want to be like symbioticness, that flow into your life. So it's kind of like the law of attraction, abundance, things like that. One of the quotes I liked a lot from this book is, in essence, true abundance is freedom. It is fundamental well-being, a fulfillment that is not dependent on exterior conditions. Abundance is learning to trust life. So I like to get tips for how I can just really be more mindful. So thinking in my mind, all right, thinking about freedom, feeling free, right? Because when I'm feeling at my worst is when I'm feeling like kind of constricted. So thinking about freedom I found really helpful. The next book that I read was Steeped in Secrets by Lauren Elliott. This was a cozy mystery that came out in 2022. Was it cozy? Yes. Was it a mystery? Yes. But was it amazing? No. But was it supposed to be? Probably not, right? Like, this book delivered on what it is. For me, the disconnect, I just didn't really connect with the character Shay and the town. It just wasn't a town where, like, oh my God, I want to be there. Like, sometimes Debbie Maycomer, the Good Yarn, and the Blossom Street, like, I wanted to live on Blossom Street. I didn't get this feeling. So Shay, after a breakup, and because of the breakup they work together, a loss of career, comes back to her hometown where she has mysteriously inherited a tea and psychic shop. But why is there a guy dead on the second floor? So that's what we go into. And you can tell the author sets the scene for future characters, because sometimes they will just they'll reference a person and the store they own, and that's it. Like, that's all they come up, that's it, you know. So it's like, oh, you can tell she's planting, she's seeding. There's gonna be a lot more. So if you like cozy mysteries, then you might want to go ahead and add this one to your reading list. The next book was just a really quick free Kindle read I've had on my Kindle since like 2016. I'm trying to go through those, and it was The Divine Guide to Creating a Daily Writing Practice by Pernille Norgard. And this was just, you know, like I said, it was, did I say? I don't know. It was short and sweet. It was very short. Does it say the page numbers here? 48 pages. But it was very inspiring, made you really want to sit down and write. I have been starting my own writing journey this year, so that is why I have been hoarding books like this, and now I'm just finally reading them. It's like my past self knew, you're eventually going to do this, Nina, and so now I have all this content that I can read now. After that, I finished another self-help book, if you will, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. This is a fantastic book, fantastic, about, okay, so I once read, I took the psychology of happiness in college, and we learned about how people have a happiness set point. And you know, let's say your set point's around here, so you know, you get married, it goes up, but then eventually you go back down. You have a baby, it goes up, eventually you always go back to your set point. And Gay Hendricks in this book talks about surpassing that, going above your upper limit, it's what it's called. So you may know someone in your life where it's like, whenever here's a good example, somebody who has, whenever they get money, they spend it, and then they're back to where they started. So this book is about overcoming that upper limit level and achieving your best life possible. So it's a really one of the better self-help books that I've read, for sure. So this is one I recommend adding to your list. The next book I read, all right, you ready for this? Because I'm pretty sure this was a Goodreads giveaway I won a very long time ago. It is The Copenhagen Affair by Amulya Malladi, and I loved this book. It was really good. It's a fiction contemporary. Once upon a time, I might have called it chick lit, but it's not really chick lit. It's much more, I think, more of sophisticated than when I think of chick lit. But this was on my Kindle, and I don't know why, which usually means if something's just hoarded on my Kindle, it means I either won it on Goodreads, it was a free Kindle free, you know, or it was NetGalley. I know it wasn't a NetGalley read, and this was really good to the point where it's like, I don't think this was for free on Kindle, so I think I won it. And this tells the story about Sonia, who has a nervous breakdown to the point where she does not speak for weeks. She finally gets a promotion at work. She is a wife and a mother. She worked while she raised the kids, always supported her husband's business, who is very, you know, does very well in his business. And she finally gets a promotion to be a partner in the financial firm she works for. And that is when her breakdown starts, and she doesn't talk for several weeks. And the story starts after that, where the husband is part of his company is going to be taken over another company that is in Copenhagen, and they travel there for a year, and he thought it would be good for his wife. And during this period while she's in Denmark, there is so much self-discovery that she goes through, but not in cliche ways. I mean, it's really fun seeing her deal with the other wives. It's fun of the company because they kind of like socialize. It's fun seeing her deal with the cultures, and this is called the Copenhagen affair. So we do see a potential affair. I'm saying potential because it builds up and you are just following, wondering the next step. So I want you to go into it wondering the next steps as well. The author did such a great job with it, where no matter which route Sonia went, I felt like I was going to understand Sonia's decision. So yeah, that's where I'll leave that, because I thought that was I just thought she did such a great job. So this book came out in 2017, and I think, you know, if you like reading women's fiction, I would add it to your list, because it's deeper than just rom-com. I found it was so realistic, or just, you know, after, gosh, 20 plus years and raising kids with someone, you know, what is that like? And this was a very real perception on that, I found. So I'm gonna leave it at that. The other books I read were children's books, so I don't know if you really want to hear about those, so I'm not going to talk about them. I sometimes get them on NetGalley because I just like to have those little books to read on my phone sometimes. So that's that. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to be hopefully doing these recaps regularly as I get at least, you know, 5 books done and whatnot. How many did I talk about today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not bad. Not bad. So we're starting off the year pretty good. My intention is to be posting weekly on this channel. So if any of these books were interesting to you, please let me know. I have been debating doing vlogs. I used to vlog a lot more, but here's the problem. Reading vlogs are hard for me because I read in bed. So it's like, I can't really vlog that. And then I was like, well, maybe I could start vlogging by writing, but I don't want to be one of those people where I'm like, welcome to my author tube, and I've never written before, you know, like these are the first 6,000 words I've written of fiction in my entire life. So I don't want to start like, you know, preaching. But regardless, I hope we'll have a lot of fun as the year continues. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video, guys. All right.